saving people all week long. And I tell you, Max, my boy, AKA Max Headroom, he's always saving people. But he came on, I was getting lazy. I had all this stuff I was going to say, and I go, shoot, I've been watching too much Fox News. It's blowing my mind. Laura Ingraham and Hannity, I don't know why I'm listening. We'll get into all that later. But all this Trump stuff. And then Dr. V says, what are you doing? Get off your butt. We got things to do. We got to talk. We're tired of being pushed around. We're tired of these waves going all over the place. We got to talk politics. We got to talk the election. We got to talk Trump. We got to talk all this stuff. So what do you have to say just to quickly start, Dr. V, before I go crazy and then try to calm down?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous about these polls over here. It looks like Trump could pull this thing out, and I don't know if there's something Kamala can do to turn things around or what, but I'm curious to see what people think, if there's still a chance Kamala can win here.
Well, of course there's a chance Kamala can win. There's always a chance till the last day. But let's talk about how this is going and where it is. And let's talk Trump first, because I just think it's so interesting to see this momentum that's picking up with Trump as things are going on. You know, as I said, I've been watching Fox really hard recently and just listening. Trump, 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 why they just say Trump can't lose. And it's this momentum they're trying to pull and build. They did this in 2022, but right now when you watch it, like last night, Laura Ingraham, they're saying Trump people are afraid to say they're for Trump. Now you tell me something, Dr. V, thumbs up there. How many people, we get people, thousands of people will come on here, and hi, first three people, and we get thousands of people who come in here. Trump people, they're not afraid to say they back Trump, do they? They never say they're afraid to back Trump. They come on and say, right, they accuse us of hating Trump, they accuse this, they accuse that, and the bottom line is they say they love Trump. We love people who love Trump. We love everybody. Hey, Hadar. We love everybody, whether we agree with you or not. And here now, back. We saw him last time. So let's understand all this. But Trump, let's get into what's going on here, okay? There seems to be this need to push this momentum to say that Trump can't lose. There's this need to push this, well, so everybody jumps on board and goes with it. Especially, I'm telling you, I was watching Fox last night. I was going, my gosh, this election is over. There's no way Kamala Harris can win this election, because Fox says they can't do it. And I'm telling you, Laura Ingram's sitting there going, people are ashamed, or not ashamed, afraid to say they support Trump, and they're coming out. This is the same BS I've heard before. Look, let's follow the Friedman rule, okay? That which is obviously wrong. Let's say it again. That which is obviously wrong. And the reason that's true most times is because when everybody agrees with something, there's nobody else left to agree with it. So when you start hearing it and you start hearing everybody saying it's over and here we're going, don't necessarily believe it. But what's so interesting about what's happening is the more we hear at the polls, what do the polls really mean? People are voting like crazy. They're going wild. The early voting, everybody, which I think is great. Good vote, as long as a good vote. Early voting, you get in there and vote, do your thing. Thank you, John. I think I'm happy I'm entertaining, but I hopefully you think I'm on balance, right on top of things, because we talk like it is. Dr. V, who tries to keep me under control, understand this guy for 53 years has tried to keep me under control. It hasn't worked. He tries, it's like simmers. He turns down the heat a little, simmers, talks to my ear, says, man, you got to calm down. I know your wife. You just got to calm down. I know your family. He says it to me all the time. Calm down, because you know why. That's Dr. V, the addiction man. Dr. V, Joe Speaks. Go to his channel. Just an American Citizen. Please give us thumbs up. Please subscribe to both of us. But that's the doctor there. But this is where we're going with this. And understand, quit agreeing that I'm out of it, Dr. V. Quit agreeing that I'm too high energy. Stop that. You're the high energy. I'm the shy, laid back one. You're the one that goes crazy all the time. Admit it. Come on. What are you laughing about? What are are you laughing about, Dr. V? Okay, Dr. V's on opiates. Let me tell you, Dr. V's the guy who came up with the stuff that said the exact opposite of that, whatever the stuff is. Came up with the exact opposite to get you off opiates, to get you off being totally out of it. That's what he's the expert in. You can even check ChatGPT, it says it. So let's get back to where we were. Trump. So so it seems that everybody's tried to build up this incredible momentum to see where Trump can go. And what he does is he just says more and more. I love my stash. What's wrong with stash? At the bottom, so he tries to build up momentum more and more. But what exactly is Trump doing? All Trump is doing is saying he hates America. We're back to that again. He hates America. Make America great. It's a great country. He can get away with saying what he wants to say. And meanwhile, while he's talking like this, while Trump talks about internal enemies, I don't care pretty much about what they say. I mean, you're hearing now that here we go about him being a fascist and everything. Oh, look, that's like calling me or Dr. V a communist or a Marxist. Those words are all jive. Let's just go down to the bottom line. Trump is trash. He's garbage. He may be a bowel movement. Am I going to call him fascist? No. Bowel movement? Yeah. I mean, let's just talk straight about the type of person he is. He and his vice president who runs behind, his vice presidential nominee who runs behind him, J.D. Vance, the cat mother. Okay, so they're there together. They run around. And they can't stop, and they can't stop lying. So they think the way to build the momentum is just keep lying, and people go, yeah, let's come up with more stories, and people go, yeah, and I'm feeling good, and I'm doing it, and we're all together here. We're all one. But what does great on, Fabian? Great on. Give us thumbs up. We're giving it to you, a double. But what did you? Yeah, I said that, San Diego. That's what Trump is. He can't be any less than that. He's a liar. When does he tell the truth? This is a guy who wants to wrap the country in tariffs. This is a guy who wants to say, I'm going to raise inflation big time because I'm going to take this money and I'm not going to charge anybody taxes. Nobody's going to pay taxes. We're going to make money by wrapping the country in tariffs. Think of it, a big Band-Aid all around, big bandage around the country. Your TVs will go up $500. Your washing machines will go up $1,000. It'll all just go up because you all know when this happened before, everybody forgets history. It's called the Great Depression. That's what brought Franklin Delano Roosevelt in. That's what made Hoover always have such a bad name, though he was a pretty good dude afterwards. The president who led us into the Depression, Herbert Hoover. But FDR came in to bring us out of the Depression, not to lead us out of World War II, where he became a superhero, but he came to lead us out of the Depression. What was the Depression from? The Depression was from protectionism. All around the world, especially in America, we put up all these barriers and tariffs so that we couldn't all trade with one another. The world went into depression. America went into depression. Look at all those black and white pictures of Americans in line just trying to get an apple, hoping for food, hoping for something, and they didn't get it. That's where Trump is going to lead us. That's American history. You see, you can come in and say, Mark, that's not a fact. It isn't. Look up the Great Depression. It's not called the Little Depression. It's not called the Almost Big Depression. It was called the Great Depression. And the Great Depression, along with some other reasons, but was because we put up barriers. We put up and said no to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world collapsed. And the United States economy collapsed. Please give us thumbs up. That's Dr. V, the Mad Max man back there. Dr. V, Joe Speaks on the channel. Just an American Citizen. Please give us thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channels. And let me just throw this in. I can't follow all the comments when I'm talking. Dr. V's putting them in. Feel free to put comments in to Just an American Citizen. I've seen people do it. I've tried to come back to people. I had one do it to me in Spanish. I haven't come back to you yet. I did the first. I haven't on the second. I've had some other people come in and say stuff like Putin supports Kamala Harris. Right. Who are we talking about there? This is guy, one of our commenters came in and said that because he said Putin said it. Really? Putin's been on the phone with Trump for at least 7 times. Trump admits it. Trump has a phone number, has a phone that goes directly to him. He doesn't talk. Putin doesn't talk to Harris. He talks to Trump because he and Trump are like this, because that's where we're going if it happens. So the more momentum we pick up, the more everybody thinks that they're just so strong. They can be a man, show those guns.
Is Trump a strong man?
Trump's a coward. Trump's a nothing. Trump's a bowel movement.
Trump?
What?
Bone spurs?
Bones, where were those? I think they're up the brain. I think he had the bone spurs in the brain because they could never find them. He just decided, hey, what do we care about? It doesn't matter. I never really had him. Daddy got a doctor to say it happened. A doctor who was on the lease in one of our buildings. You know how they do that kind of stuff. That appears to be what happened then. But yeah, he's so what? He got played pony boy. Look, it's horrible. He got shot. But that doesn't make him how does that make him anything but what he already is? He's still a coward. I mean,
people who are insecure always look up to strong men.
Right. It's horrible he got shot, but he's still a coward because what he does is he lies. He turns around and talks about eating pets. He talks about Nancy Pelosi being an enemy of the people. He talks about all this kind of stuff because that's all he can do. That's why he is trash. He's beyond being character. And that's all he tries to do is build it up. He just tries to get people to hate. He just said, let me ask you, when do you think Donald Trump's going to come on for you? You know, I watch CNBC a lot. All the billionaires are coming on CNBC now. Have you seen them, Dr. V? Oh, we love Trump. We love Trump. All of them. You see a couple out there who don't. Look at Elon Musk paying people $1 million to essentially vote for Trump. Think about what's going on out there. Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. What do you have with the truth? This ain't hating. I'm not trying to hate. Oh, here we go. Effeminate from Cam. They see that this is, we're so effeminate. Oh, thanks, Cam. Bottom line, that's my buddy. I have a buddy named Cam. It ain't this guy. But I mean, you see, that's what we have to do. If all you can do is attack and call people names or use an adjective or use a verb and not be able to come on with facts, how am I wrong on the tariffs? Tell me. How am I wrong about Trump lying about the eating the pets? How am I wrong about any of this stuff? Tell me. How am I wrong? How am I wrong about him being trash? What has he done well? I'm happy you love Trump, Kayleen. I say right on. We say to every a MAGA person, we love you. We're with you. My problem's the MAGA Bund, as Dr. V knows. But we're with you. And you can believe what you want, but tell me why. Every time I'm always asking, what is it? I don't see. All I see are attacks. Dr. V, have you seen anything in the comments that are real facts or except attacks?
No. Mostly just comments about how great your mustache looks and how they want to see you with your shirt off. A lot of intelligent comments today.
That's a lot. Let me think. Want to see with my shirt off? They better have a full stomach because they're going to be all day. I mean, if we'll turn away, I get sick looking at myself.
You do what? 200 sit-ups every day?
I get sick looking at myself, okay? That's all I can tell you. That's the bottom line. And look at the mug. It's what it is. But let's get back. I mean, Trump thinks he's good looking. He's the one who needs a mirror. But I don't think, I keep seeing the CDNC. I don't know what it says. Yeah, it's because they're eating the cats. That's why they look like something. 150. CJ, how old do you think Trump is? I'm a lot younger than Trump. Dr. V's a lot younger than Trump. It ain't even close. Trump's an old geezer. Trump's an old geezer. What am I missing from everybody? This is an old geezer who sits at the back of the bar with his buddies, has a couple, Diet Cokes or whatever he drinks, and he just goes off on his hallucinations because he doesn't care, because they just talk, because they think the more they talk and the more they act like a man, then they're really happening. I mean, let me ask you, he went to McDonald's the other day. I think it's great. I really thought it was a great idea to go there. But isn't it interesting, the day after he goes there, McDonald's has an E. coli problem all across the country? Oh, and what happened when the great leader Donald Trump was doing the French fries? Did you see him do it, Dr. V? Did you notice he didn't have gloves on? He didn't even wash his hands.
What an idiot. He said, I thought they put the fries in with their bare hands.
Yeah. I'm watching him. He's got no gloves on, and then we hear about E. coli attacks around the world. You wonder, they keep blaming it on some onions. I'm wondering if it's somebody who didn't wash his hands and put it all over the French fries.
They should have put bleach on the fries, keep them germ-free.
Yeah, but the crispness would have been gone. It would have been all over at that point. But put the fries to bag, moron Nadge. Bottom line is, you pick it up with gloves. You see these people when they work at these places, they don't sit there and say, oh, that tastes good, and then do it. You don't know if he licked his hands. This guy's not washing his hands. This guy's going to be president of the United States. He don't even know. And then we hear about McDonald's E. coli.
Look up at the solar eclipse again. A bunch of magatards.
Meanwhile, Pony Boy Trump ain't working. He was just doing a really good political move. He went to McDonald's and did his thing. I thought it looked pretty good. I mean, it was a political thing, like other people have staged political things. What's so great about that? But he didn't have gloves on his hands. Everybody should look at that. Doesn't this guy have brains? Or didn't the people, they put a little apron on him. You see him put that little apron on him, but they can't give him, oh, please put on gloves. We don't want you to make people sick. Bottom line, that's the problem. Let's get to it, guys. I'm just saying, oh, shy here. People, you see, you're coming after me. Oh, you see, here we go. More attacks. Someone tell you about the attacks. Once again, I love our MAGA friends. You're not, my heart's breaking. My heart's breaking when you attack me personally. It doesn't do anything. We're here. I'll say about Trump. I'm not talking about you. I love our people. I love our viewers. I love our commentators. I love all of it. I think it's great. Thank you. Okay? But this guy who you are just getting on your hands and knees to, this is the truth. This is the truth about the tariffs. This is the truth about him not washing his hands. This is the truth about all the billionaires going on CNBC, and they're not talking their book. What's a billionaire's book? It's what puts money in his pocket, how he or she is trading. And these billionaires go on there, Trump. They ain't tell you how they've already set up all their bets to make big money for Trump to win. The Wall Street Journal had a major article on it. That's what these guys do. That's what's going on. It's all this part of this Fox momentum. You got Fox doing it. You got all the rich billionaires going on and pushing it. You think those billionaires care about you or me? You keep hearing about the trickle-down theory. It trickles down into the billionaires' pockets. Not into your pockets. Not into our pockets. Into the billionaires' pockets. And that's what we're hearing. That's what we're seeing. The billionaires are lining up because they're going to line their pockets when Donald Trump becomes president. Because it doesn't matter what happens to you or me or regular people. They just try to set up the regular people and make you think they care about you. And then they just get richer and richer. And Trump takes that key, turns it and says, come on in, my billionaire friends. Come on in, Missy. Isn't that what the witch said in the Wizard of Oz? Come on in, my little witchy. You see, some people got nervous. They jumped off when we're talking this way. But that's what it is. Why do people love billionaires so much when they don't love you? When Trump's there for them and not for you. Please give us thumbs up. Please go see Dr. V and Joe Talks. Just an American Citizen. Come on and subscribe. You can put comments on Just an American Citizen or on Joe Speaks. Either way, what am I missing here? It's yours, Dr. V.
Yeah, it sounds like people want to have a serious discussion. So what is it about Trump that appeals to people? And it usually comes down to he's trying to keep the immigrants out. During his time, inflation was low. Well, what else they like about him?
Sorry, Sandy. Go ahead, dude. Don't ignore me. I'm just talking to the comments.
So it usually comes down to the immigrants and inflation.
I don't get fees, Fabian. We're not getting paid for this, Fabian. Go ahead. Keep talking.
And so I like to speak to these issues.
Double. Go ahead.
what did Trump do to keep inflation down during his time in office? It's a serious question. He inherited a great economy from Obama, right? Inflation was coming down. It continued, the trend line continued to come down during his administration.
Right.
And then during COVID, nobody was buying anything. And that's why the price of gas was low, the price of energy was low. He did not really do anything to cause inflation to come down. Now, post-COVID, inflation did go up in the United States, and it went up for every country. And, I think Biden took some steps to try and bring inflation down, and that seems to be working. What's wrong with that?
There's so much, Jasper, there's so much oil being pumped out there. Look at there's so much oil. There's so much, a glut of oil and natural gas. What are you talking about? All this under Trump. I'm sorry, under Trump, under Biden, pumping out more than they ever did under Trump. Right.
Are good, regular steps that most of us would agree with.
Right.
He made sure we pumped a lot of oil to keep the energy price down. He went after companies
Cam, you're wrong.
The public.
Right.
He was taking good, active steps to get inflation down, and that seems to be working. Isn't that what a good president is supposed to do? To deal with the situation and turn things around. With respect to immigration, okay, it was low during the Trump administration, but it was coming down even before he took office because of Obama's policies. During COVID, they closed the borders for everyone. So illegal immigration was down. No one was getting through. And then there was a bit of a backlog when Biden came in and they looked at the restrictions on immigration. And to be fair,
we're not getting paid, Sam.
And to be fair, Biden did try to have a more humane policy toward people coming into this country, and people poured into the country. And that was not necessarily a healthy thing. It was really tough on a lot of the cities to try to accommodate all the immigration. And so what did Biden do? He then took steps, executive actions, to curb immigration.
James.
And he set up he worked together with a bipartisan committee to deal with the whole immigration problem, not just illegal immigration, but to set up a system to help.
Cheryl, wait a second. Cheryl Figueroa. Wait a second. Cheryl, wait. Time out. Cheryl Figueroa, what's the misinformation you reported? We're talking opinion here. We're putting it out. We're letting people put in comments whatever they want. Why do you just want to shut people down? What are we saying that's misinformed? We're just talking facts. We have all these commentators coming in. We're not afraid. Thank you, good guy. Very good guy, okay? I don't care. Oh, why? Because you're afraid? You don't like the truth, Cheryl? So your response is like Fox, shut them down. Your response is like Trump, just get rid of them. Because if you can't take what somebody says, is that how this works? You just gotta complain about him. How is this? This is what Elon Musk complains about. This is what Trump himself complains about. You don't like what you hear. It's like, oh, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. That's not what's going on here. If you're afraid to hear what people have to say, don't come on here. It's very simple. And we take the same position. We are not censoring anybody, Pony. Thank you. It is bad. And Cheryl, I'm obsessed because why do you go out and put out jive about what we're doing? You are just saying bad things about our commentators by talking this way. I love our commentators. Dr. V loves our commentators, and we don't care if you disagree. I'm angry because who are you to talk about this? What are you afraid of? Afraid of the truth, afraid of opinions, afraid of the First Amendment. Got nothing else to say. Sorry, got a report for misinformation. Right, like, yeah, okay. Everybody on here, I don't care if you agree or disagree. We love it. We love you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching. This is America. This is the First Amendment. We don't cuss here. We don't do that kind of stuff. We just tell you what we think. It comes from here. Thank you for all those thumbs up. We don't get paid. We just love our country. Don't we, Dr. V? You see, everybody can love the country. You can be left or right wing, but we love it also. I'm just an American citizen. He's just Joe. real smart, but he's just Joe. And that's what we are. We love our country. And that's why we're on here, to tell you what we think and to encourage you to tell us what you think. But once again, I come back. Where are your facts for this guy? Remember one other thing about Trump. Didn't hundreds of thousands of Americans die during COVID under Trump? I think that's a fact too. Didn't hundreds of thousands of Americans die under Trump? Crockett, Jeopardy, that's the truth, right? That's the truth. Fabian's saying true. What?
Compared to Canada, our death rate was 60% higher.
Whoa.
60% higher.
Whoa.
If 1 million people died from COVID, 60% higher, that's 600,000 people died in this country because of Trump's poor handling.
McNuff, I had to respond.
He handled it by trying to hide behind it. He thought that would hurt his political future, and so he tried to hide it. He didn't want to test because that would drive the numbers up. He only cares about himself. He's a narcissist. Anything that's relevant to him, he likes. If it's not relative to him, if it doesn't help him, he doesn't like it. And so he doesn't care about it.
Cheryl, World War II was brand new. When we got hit at Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt had to deal with it. It was brand new then. He's a hero because we won. Trump's a loser because we lost hundreds of thousands of Americans to COVID because of his lies and his total absolute. This is the truth, got nothing to do with Cheryl. This is just the truth about Trump. He lied about COVID. We lost hundreds of thousands of people, but in World War II, President Roosevelt rose up and met it and is a hero in American history because a great president takes on the problems and leads this country through and doesn't just sit there and go, me, 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 me. Me. That's all it is. And I. The letter I, not the I. We need you all to look and listen to this guy and realize how full of it he is. Go ahead, Dr. V. Sorry, I had to jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Trump only cares about himself. He's a con man, a convict. Don the Con.
I'm proud I'm a boober, my friend.
And what's disappointing.
Great music we had.
There are people who have legitimate concerns, legitimate gripes, and inflation is high. It's really tough to buy a house. I have kids who've had a hard time buying a house.
So do we.
Legitimate problems we have in this country.
Storm, being a grandpa's great.
The answer is not just to blame everything on immigrants. The answer is not just to badmouth your opponent. The answer is not to put down this country. It's to work together. And then, that's the point I try to make, is that
right on, James. Great timing.
Working together to solve issues. And I'm afraid this guy does not have that in mind. He wants to avoid going to jail. He wants to line his own pockets. And he says it. He's
Brazil's an interesting country,
and what's important for him, and we
luckily he's still alive, Fabian.
For this crap, and it's
no cussing.
He doesn't care about you. He doesn't.
He is an old fart, Produgo. You're right.
Yes, there is Trump derangement syndrome, but it's in Trump's head. He's the one who's a narcissist. No. He's the one who only cares about himself. Next time I come on, I'll go through the criteria for people with narcissistic personality disorder, and you'll see he fits the pattern perfectly.
And he knows that's what this guy does for a living. But that's the bottom line. But everybody knows Trump. You know him for what he is because he's just tries to get money out of everybody. He's just, look, they're already looking. His son-in-law said that there's a spot in Gaza that would look great with a high-rise condo or a hotel or something. I mean, where are these guys coming from?
Trump Bible yet, Mark?
Oh, yeah, well, of course, you have to have it. You have to made in China, of course, because a Trump Bible has to be made in China because, I don't know why. Because, and he threw in the Declaration of Independence in there or something, or the Constitution, I don't know, the Bill of Rights. But he let China write it up, even though China doesn't know who the Bill of Rights is. They got no idea. Come on. here we're going on. We're just doing all this. So here we have a guy who lost hundreds of thousands of Americans. Lost hundreds of thousands of Americans. And not just that, guys. Remember, guys, women, he shut down the country. Donald Trump shut down the country. Everybody says, look back 4 years. Let's look back. Hundreds of thousands of Americans died from COVID. And Trump shut down the country. He didn't let nobody went anywhere. Remember? Nobody was working. Nobody was getting income. So we had to get the Congress to pump cash out to people because everybody was going under. Everybody had to get money. Companies were going under. There had to be basically major loans put out there, which ended up having a lot of fraud. But it all had it because Trump shut down the country. And when Trump no, not Fauci. Fauci worked for Trump. You know how Trump always says, what is it, Dr. V? You're fired. That's all he had to say to Fauci, but he didn't. He shut down the country. So in a time of emergency, a time of American emergency, American need, Donald Trump, when he was president, saw over the dying of hundreds of thousands of Americans, the shutdown of America, the destruction of the economy at that time, and then taking all that cash and pumping it out so that we were able to come out of COVID on the back end. That cash was waiting to buy so much stuff, but there was no supply because nobody was out there putting out supply, so prices exploded. Thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you. What a great job, Donald Trump. And once again, please give us thumbs up. We love your comments. They are flying. Please give us thumbs up. Dr. V, Joe Talks, Just an American Citizen. Please subscribe and let us know. Like I said, you can put comments on either of our channels anytime. We'll come back to you sometime later. But that's it. Thank you, Donald Trump. Great job. Like his foreign policy. The Abraham Accords. He's making all these deals, right? But he didn't make a deal with the Palestinians. A real smart war. Look what we got out in the foreign policy. And Trump sits there and goes, man, when I was around, there was no war. It was because you hadn't messed everything up by then, Trump. You hadn't taken it and shaken it all up and just blown it out there. How dumb. Think about this. How dumb was the Iranian deal that President Obama made? I'm an Obama supporter, but I thought it was a dumb deal. But we already spent all that money. Trump comes in and says, hey, it's out the door. How dumb was that? When you go to make deals, you make them, you pump the cash, you go to the next thing and make a better deal. But he can't, he doesn't know how to make a deal. He just knows how to yell and scream, lie, come in deeper, talk about the internal problems of Dems and the libs, who are Marxists and this and that. And then we have to hear the fascism. Like I said, it's just clear. He's just trash. He can't be any better. He doesn't know how to be. And what we have to say is you're fired. And let me just tell you this. I want to throw this out there too about the election. My call, I'm not calling the election. I'm horrible calling the election itself, but it's not going to be close. I don't mean it's going to be a super blowout. Maybe it is. I think, remember what I said, that which is obvious is obviously wrong. I think everybody's saying it's going to be super close, super close, super close, super close, super close. I'm telling you, it's not going to be as close as everyone says. Also because, as Dr. V said, it doesn't take much to move a margin of victory. It can be a little, and it just by percentage, you're doubling or tripling sometimes. But the bottom line here is it ain't going to be that close. America's going to call it out. It's just going to call it out, and it's going to be very interesting to see. Because you look at these pollsters, they're so busy worried about, are we undercounting Trump votes? Are we overcounting Trump votes? You hear it on all the stations, and you hear everybody going, oh, but nobody knows. And that's why everybody is saying it's going to be so close. Think about it. It's like those billionaires that Trump loves so much that goes on CNBC and talks about why Trump's so good, but doesn't tell you they're playing their money, their pocket, where all their cash goes, where all the money they make on you and me, as the trickle-down theory trickles down into the billionaires' pockets and Trump's. They don't tell you that, but it's no different than these pollsters. They're afraid. I can't blame them. I can't blame them, Dr. V. They don't know what's going on. They got no idea. So they go, it's going to be 50-50. Wow, isn't that great? Isn't that great if every time you went in to call something and your job is to predict the future, or not predict, actually say what's going on, just say, yeah, It's a toss-up. Wow, that's a great call. But once again, I can't blame them because who can call it? I don't know which one's going to win, but I'm telling you this, it ain't going to be that close. We're going to know who won, and there's not going to be much of a question about it. Dr. V.
So do you think if the election doesn't come out Trump's way, he's going to try and pull some crap?
I'm sorry?
How do you think Trump's going to respond if the election doesn't go his way?
I think it depends. I think it depends.
Defeat, or is he going to claim that it was rigged and this and that?
Oh, he's always going to claim it was rigged. But I think if it's not going to be close, if it's not going to be that close, what are you going to say? You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong and it's super close, yes, they're already suing everybody. The Georgia Supreme Court stood up and said to these crazies on the Republican, on the election board there, who wanted to require every vote to be pulled out and looked at. We never know what happened to Georgia if that happened. They threw that out and said these guys are going too far. But there are lawsuits being filed everywhere. Everybody's just looking to sue everybody. Let's sit back. Let's vote. Let's go for it. I'm telling you, I love it. But I don't understand this, Dr. V. Early voting. People are willing to stay in line. I'm not willing to stay in line early voting. Let everybody else get in line. They can be on TV, say their thing. I'm going when there ain't a line. What do you think?
I got my ballot coming in the mail, and I plan to vote by mail.
Right on. Right on. We get ours by mail, but I still like to go and I drop it off. So I fill it out and then I drop it off at our polling place. That's fun. So I get to see people. Right. So I see some of the people. I got to see some of the people who are voting, because you like to see the people you know are voting. Jeez, look at that. Well, you like to see the people who are voting, and then you go on from there, and it makes it fun. And then you get your little I voted thing, and everybody goes, "Wow, you're on to the next thing." It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting as we go forward with that. Now, I had that. Let's see here. One other thing I'm trying to understand, and this is the word I want to bring back out, my word of the day. My cliche of the day, of course, was that which is obvious is obviously wrong. But the word is one of my favorite words. You've all seen it. It's all over my channel, Just an American Citizen. Hubris. Hubris, 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 hubris. And thank you for all the thumbs up. That's the problem that I see on the MAGA side. I'm not taking and saying it's bad or good. I'm not on you. I'm just saying the hubris, the overconfidence, the incredible, we can't lose, we can't lose, we can't lose. You just feel it. And hubris inevitably leads to a letdown, inevitably leads to that which you don't expect. And it's not good, because hubris tells you, I can't lose. And listen to these people. Listen to Fox. Listen to the Republican candidates. Listen to everybody. It's hubris. And I'm not on them. I'm just saying, if you heard hubris on the Democratic side, that'd be one thing. You're not hearing it there. So that's where that is, okay, as we go forward. This has got some jive there. So so that's where we are. And so I'm saying, you guys better get off your hubris high horses, because if you stay on those hubris high horses, you get me more nervous. But I think you got a problem. What's obvious is obviously wrong. Dr. V. Dr. V.
Yeah, you want me to
throw in? Jump in here.
I don't know. I think it's very possible Trump is going to get reelected.
Look, I didn't go that far because I don't like to make the call, but okay, go ahead.
I think it's possible. And then the question is this the kind of country we're going to want? Is he really going to go after his political enemies? Is he really going to direct the military to squash debate? Is he really going to just reward his friends and hurt people who don't like him? And I am really worried about that as a possibility, because the guy is not all there. He's got the mental disorder.
Thank you.
And all you have to do is say you like the guy, and then he'll be on your side. And if you criticize him, he'll be up your rear end. Is that the kind of country we want to live in? That you talk about squashing freedom. He's already squashing females' freedoms
Nah,
to be able to go to their doctor
wrong.
and get
Nice and
medical
clean.
care. He's going to squash other freedoms, and that's not the kind of country I think that we
Matthews,
want
we've been
to
around
live
too
in.
long to be
And
brainwashed.
most of us love freedom. We love the ability to be able to criticize the government. We love the ability to say what we want to
Bummer.
say, live the life we want to live, love who we want to live. And that's, I'm afraid, not the kind of country we're going to get. And so before you vote, I think people need to think about what kind of country you want to have.
Jersey's a
And
good
I'm
state.
really concerned that this guy is not all 100% there. And he's not
Living
going to
in
be
loss.
looking out for your interests. We know that. He's only going to look out for his personal interests. And if they're not consistent with your interests, you're in trouble. And that's what I worry about in this country.
Thank
So I want people to think about it. And if he actually does what he says he's going to
Ooh,
do,
I'm not here below.
what kind of country will that be?
Good, such good points. I hope you guys don't mind. I throw in the background as Dr. V is laying the real wisdom on us. But it's really where we are. Okay, I think Jagger. I don't know if Harris is up or she's down. That's our point. We don't know what's going on. We just know that everybody's saying it's a toss-up, and I think that it's going to be a win, a big win on one side or the other. I just don't see anything else. I'll tell you, and you keep calling us as boomers. Let me just throw a couple things out. We've been around. I love being a boomer. And the great thing about being a boomer is our music was great. And a lot of it kind of comes to today. Like, for instance, I'm just kind of thinking about this. Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf had a great song called Monster. It was an anti-Vietnam song, but it really would be perfect for Trump. Got a monster on the loose. We got our heads into the noose, and he just sits there watching. America, where are you now? Don't you care about your sons and daughters? Don't you know we need you now? We can't fight alone against the monster. And that's my motto for the day. Dr. V. Great song, by the way. A lot of chord changes. John Kay going crazy. Monster, Steppenwolf. Woo! And I'll be giving you more, because the difference between the music I give you and Dr. V gives you is you'll fall asleep listening to his music, because Pink Floyd and all that junk is the music I give you is rock. It'll make you roll. It has to, it'll do it the way it is. What are you talking about?
That's where it's at. That's where it's at.
We have a real dividing line here. Okay, but he keeps.
Pink Floyd is based. I don't know. Pink Floyd is great.
Boing, boing, ding. I should bring out a little hammer and a little bell or something and start whacking it the way they did on Saturday Night Live on Don't Feel the Reaper. Remember that? Bum, bum, bum. Ding, ding, ding.
I'll bring my cowbell next time.
You should bring. I'd like to see your cowbell.
I
think you should be your cowbell. Brian, we lived history, baby. We're not out of it, ignorant of it.
Wins, I'll do Fear the Reaper.
Oh, God.
I'll do it live.
Oh, here we go. That's the reason everybody should be voting for Kamala now, because Dr. V is going to do Don't Feel the Reaper live. Bang.
I'll do it live for everybody.
Bang, banging the bell. It'll be tremendous. It'll be another Saturday Night Live. It'll be better than Saturday Night Live ever was.
I'll say, well, we fear the Reaper, because he's coming for you.
Mark, you're right. And give us thumbs up, Mark, and please subscribe. Just an American Citizen. And thumbs up. And Dr. V, Joe Speaks, thumbs up, and give him a subscribe. And give us comments in there. We'll always come back to you. Well, we're hitting our notes. We're hitting the end. Is there anything quick you want to say right now, Dr. V?
No, just it's great.
Thanks,
to
AJ.
get the comments. You can disagree with this. That's perfectly fine. And if you can throw in a logical comment now and then, that wouldn't be terrible. But it's good to see everybody, and let's keep this country together and work together.
And keep this in mind. We're back on Sunday at 11. We believe in this country. We love this country. This is our heart. When you talk about how long we've been around to know what love is, to understand the respect, the problems, our history we've had, all the issues we've had, but how great this country is. And that's why we want to come on and talk about it, because we talk about how much our love, we talk from the heart. We talk a bit from the head, but it's from the heart, because this is the greatest country in the world. And I'm just an American citizen. This is Dr. V. Joe Speaks. And that's the way it is. Period. We'll see you Sunday, 11 o'clock. And bring your friends. See you later. Thanks.